Kyongsung University. Let me first describe what my hometown looks like. Jakarta, Indonesia is surrounded by beautiful oceans, exotic temples, and strong dialects. Does any of this ring a bell? Yes. The descriptions also fit very well with Busan. 7 beaches, attractive temples like Haedong Yeonggongsa, and we can't forget the famous dialect Busan 사투리. And that's when I knew Busan was going to be my second home. I grew up so much in Busan that I even mentor other students from Indonesia to help them with their Korean and life in Busan. When I teach them Korean, I sometimes see myself using 사투리. Looking back, I remember struggling to understand what my professors were saying because they were using 찐 Busan 사투리, you know, the real Busan dialect. But I think that's what makes Busan more of my home. Through the dialect, I feel the warm jong that no other city can mimic. Global City Busan. We are in it together. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산 영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
Wavers, I'm sure you have noticed it has become chilly recently. And if you're in Busan, well, the thing is, we can't complain too much because at least it did not snow here. Mount Seoraksan got its first snowfall on Monday with temperatures dipping below zero. And this is ironic as we haven't even seen the full fall foliage yet. 우리는 아직 가을 단풍 즐기지도 못하고 설악산에는 눈이 내렸대요. So autumn is synonymous with fiery colors of the crimson maples and golden ginkgos that transform the landscape of Korea. But according to a map released by the Korea Forest Service earlier this month, peak foliage in the capital area will arrive a few days later than last year, and most other regions, including Busan. Well, we're going to have to wait until maybe even November to see the full range of the beautiful fall foliage. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Wednesday, October 22nd on BEFM 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well. It's going to be another chilly one today. I feel it. I definitely felt it on the way to work this morning. And while we're enjoying this little nice stretch of chilly but not too cold days, at least here in Busan, the National Sports Festival 전국체육대회 is underway in our city. Busan residents, we can feel this happening around us, right? Whether, you're in the seats, watching and cheering on the athletes, or maybe having to take detours because of events like the marathon. And this is an exciting time for athletes and sports fans, but it's also been great news for local businesses. At least 50,000 athletes, coaches, trainers, and delegates are expected to come to Busan across this festival, which includes the sports festival and the National Para Games. Add to that, spectators. And restaurants around Sajik and the Asiad Stadium have been completely full. And this applies to the accommodations sector as well, meaning lodging. Busan's Local Tourism Association reported that most of the 4-star hotels in Busan have had all of their rooms sold out this week. And actually, the biggest beneficiaries have been the 3-star hotels. And this is quite different from previous years when hotels tend to see a drop in numbers in the fall after the peak summer season. And not only that, it's been reported that the athletes and delegates are staying across 동네, Yeonjae and Busanjin districts, which are not areas that see huge tourist surges compared to, say, Haeundae or Gwangalli. And the best part about the sports festival is that all the events are free, which adds to the number of tourists. And last year, the sports festival in Gimhae brought in 164,000 spectators, and they spent an estimated 18 billion won. You know, we always talk about a sustainable tourism industry that goes beyond summer, and this is definitely a good example of such an event. So we're really excited to be hosting, and let's be welcoming of all the visitors that are checking out the games, the events, and just be nice to all the foreigners as well. All right, now it's time for a text topic. Are you ready? What is something you would like to be immune to or have immunity from in life? A free pass for life. 자, 살면서 딱 이거 하나만 면제되고 싶은 것은? So maybe if you could turn back the time, or maybe right now, whenever your timeline allows, whether it's things like military exemption. I know that's a very sensitive issue here in Korea, but if you could wave a magic wand, what would you be immune to or have immunity from? Or maybe, can you imagine being tax-free, meaning not having to pay taxes, but legally? I'm not talking about illegally, like, if you could wave your magic wand and just not have to pay taxes ever. Or maybe be immune from doing 집안일, household chores, go on and on. Or maybe immune from any type of, like, let's say, the flu. Or, right now, the seasonal changes, 환절기잖아요. I see lots of people getting sick. So maybe you can be immune from getting sick, like forever until you pass. Well, you can send in your creative answers to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM or 부산영어방송 to find us. And then you can subscribe, log in, and chat with other waivers. And from your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free on Kakao Talk. So find us first, type in BEFM or 부산영어방송 as well, and add us, then send in your messages. All right. The ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan on the radio, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. That's if you're in Busan. Otherwise, you can check us out on YouTube. Like I said, we're streaming live. You can watch again at your leisure. Also, 2 apps, the BFM app and the Papang app, were available on both free and easy to download. So looking ahead to our, it's already hump day. It's Wednesday. In hour number 1, we have Lian coming in for Now and Next. In hour number 2, work in progress with Jennifer. And for today, our special interview, you may or may not have heard, but Japan has a new prime minister, and she is set. Yes, I said she is set to become the first female prime minister. And so who is she? Because within Japan, some people call her, I guess, like Japan's Iron Lady. So let's find out more about who the new female prime minister of Japan is with our expert. That's coming up in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:07, and this is News Overview. President urges for stronger response against international scams. President Lee Jae-myung yesterday called on the government to come up with stern and stronger measures against international scams, adding he has made separate directives to the National Intelligence Service, or NIS, to do the same. He vows to rein in speculative real estate. President Lee Jae-myung yesterday pledged to allocate all available resources to curb speculative real estate demand following the October 15th measures to stabilize home prices. President congratulates new Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi. President Lee Jae-myung congratulated new Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi on her election win, adding he hopes to meet her at the upcoming Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, summit in Gyeongju next week. Special counsel requests arrest warrant for Im Sung-gun. The special counsel investigating the death of Marine Corporal Che requested an arrest warrant against former Marine Division Commander Im Sung-gun, a key figure in the previous administration's alleged interference in the investigation. Trump and Putin Budapest talks shelved. A White House official has stated that there are no plans for U.S. President Donald Trump to meet with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, in the immediate future, putting the Budapest summit on hold. And this was News Overview. It's time for Now in Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. So let's get your take on our text topic first. So what is something you would like to be immune to, immune from for like the entirety of your life?
I wish I could be immune from being cold, feeling cold.
Do you like usually always feel cold?
I am always cold. And even in summer, my hands are really cold.
Yeah. So you've struggled with it or you've had that issue for the entirety of your life. Interesting.
You?
For me, I don't know. I was thinking there are so many. Well, I don't have to worry about the military. And then I was thinking about the whole taxes thing. That wouldn't be bad. I mean, legally, right? Like having not to pay taxes, whether it's, just your income tax or property tax. That would be good. But I don't know. Let me get back to you or the waivers. I got to think about it a little bit because I want to think of a really good one. So in the meantime, let's jump into our local news now in Busan. We have some news from Busan's port sector. There is a new committee that's been formed, correct?
Yes, Busan City and Busan Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or BCCI, announced that they held the first meeting of the Shipping Company Relocation Promotion Committee on October 21st, so yesterday, at Busan City Hall.
Yes, and what exactly does this committee do?
It was set up to drive forward one of the key policy tasks systematically and successfully. Think relocating major shipping companies, including the HMM headquarters to Busan.
Okay.
It's composed of about 20 members from Busan City, BCCI, academia, industry, research institute, and relevant associations.
Yes, and so what came up at this meeting?
At the meeting, they talked about how the relocation plans are going so far, what's next, and what kind of economic impact Busan could expect if HM moves into headquarters here. They also shared some ideas about incentives and support to help shipping companies settle in more easily. Based on that idea presented, the city is planning to coordinate with Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries to fine-tune relocation policies, site support, and living environmental assistance.
Yes. So, and let's also get a take from our Busan Mayor Park Hyung-jun. Did he have a message?
Yes, Busan Mayor Park Hyung-jun said, Bringing major shipping companies to Busan is a big turning point for the city. It will help the city grow into a global hub.
I see. So thank you once again for sharing this information with our listeners. We're going to move on, though. This is a big step forward for Busan's ambition to become a world-class maritime hub, because I feel like we're kind of already there, but to elevate us even more. What's going on?
Busan City announced that its 명지녹산 Smart Green Industrial Complex AX demonstration project has been finally picked for the 2025 AX demonstration program.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what AX stands for. So why don't you share with us? What does it mean?
AX stands for Artificial Intelligence Transformation. It refers to companies actively applying AI to their existing work method, decision-making systems, and customer services.
Okay.
With this selection, the city is launching the project from September 25th 2025 to December 2028. Altogether, they are inviting a little under 25 million won.
Oh, billion won, right?
A billion won.
Yes. And then we have the 명지녹산 industrial complex itself. So what is this complex known for?
It's the largest shipping equipment cluster in the country and a core industrial hub for that sector. It accounts for 28.5% of the city's total manufacturing output and 32.2% of its exports.
Okay.
This new project aims to help small and medium-sized companies test and expand their technologies. It focuses on eco-friendly and autonomous shipbuilding materials, parts, and equipment to strengthen Busan's manufacturing sector.
Yeah, so it does sound like a real collaborative effort. So who's backing this?
The project is supported by Busan Technopark, Busan National University, and the Korea Industrial Complex Cooperation's Busan branch. Mayor Park Hyung-jun said this selection marks a meaningful achievement that will drive innovative transformation in Busan's manufacturing industry.
Yes, for this industry. It's really important for our city as well. So thanks for giving us the lowdown on that. For now, we're going to turn our attention to a particular festival. So what is this one about?
Busan City will host the 2025 Busan Folk Art Festival at Dasom Square in Busan Citizens Park for 2 days from October 25th.
Yes.
So this Saturday. The opening ceremony will take place at 1:30 p.m. at the Pungnu Madang stage. They will have a special performance wishing for the successful hosting of the 48th UNESCO World Heritage Committee next July.
And what will happen here? What's going to be happening?
Now in its 5th year, the festival consists of 4 sections.
Okay.
Pungnu Madang, traditional music stage, Somsi Madang, craft stage, Janchi Madang, feast stage, and a special folk exhibition, 민속 특별전. Over 400 intangible cultural heritage successors are taking part, presenting signature local performances. On the first day, there will be traditional performances such as field play in Suyang, a religious ritual in the eastern coast of Korea, 동해안 별신굿,
Okay.
song of fishing with a net in Dadepo 후리소리, and more. There will also be hands-on events such as children's civil service exam and traditional plaking. On the 26th, more performances will follow, including entertainment show in 동래, 울산 새부리 소리, 울산 ironworking songs, fusion 국악 청청, tightrope walking, and you name it.
Yes.
Unofficial said this year's event will even more colorful and exciting as it's connected with Hanbok Culture Week and the Intangible Heritage Art Fair.
Wow. So once again, this is the 2025 Busan Comprehensive Folk Arts Festival. There's so much. So thanks for going over all the details. All right. I hear we have some major peace news from Busan. So what is this one about?
Busan Global City Foundation announced it will host the 2025 Busan Familiarization Tour 2025 across Busan for 2 days from 23rd to 24th October. The event marks the 80th United Nations Day on October 24th and is jointly organized by Busan City and the foundation.
Yes.
Attendees include defense diplomacy figures from 13 countries worldwide: Africa, Egypt, Uganda, or Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Iraq.
Right, meaning the African continent. We have the countries Egypt and Uganda. So what will they do while they're here?
They'll be joining events like a peace exchange night, a peace concert, and a UN Day celebrations, sharing Busan's identity as a city of peace and its vision for global cooperation.
Right.
They'll also visit key spots from industrial sites and urban renewal areas to local coffee shop, tourism attractions, giving them a real sense of Busan's charm and potential.
Yes. So what is the bigger aim for the organizers? What's like the bigger goal?
The foundation wants to build networks with next generation leaders in defense, security, and diplomacy. And on that base, Busan's status as a global peace cooperation city. CEO Jung Young-woo of the Busan Global City Foundation said, Busan was born through UN sacrifice and solidarity. The city built peace over memories of war, and this tour will let guests feel Busan's peace identity, cooperation capacity, and industrial innovation.
Ah, yes, indeed. So thanks for letting us know of all the things that are happening around our city, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sajin.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to get your traffic and weather out to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
굿모닝.
좋은 아침입니다.
모닝 웨이브 인 부산.
Morning Wave in Busan.
모닝 웨이브 인 부산.
Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
모닝 웨이브 인 부산.
It's now 7:19. Here is your traffic report. First up, let's talk about the Dongso overpass. It is backed up from the Hwangnyeong ramp to the old Kaegum tollgate. Also, it is congested from the Mandok intersection to Namhae Expressway Deokjeon ramp right now. There is traffic building on Bunyeonglo going away from the city right around the Wondong ramp. Let's talk about some road closures this morning from 9:50 a.m. to 11 a.m. from the Asiad Main Stadium to Kodae Station, the Yeonsan Rotary, City Hall, Songsanghyeon Square, and back to the stadium because, yes, it is the 10-kilometer road race for the National Sports Festival. Please take detours. As for the weather, it's currently 15 degrees Celsius under cloudy skies. It's going to go up to 20. There is rain in the forecast for this afternoon in Busan. Across the nation, another chilly morning in the capital area with morning lows in the single digits. Big temperature differences of up to 15 degrees in the western region. We're talking about between the low and the high. So wherever you are, please take extra precautions for your health. This was your traffic and weather. All right, it's time for top stories. We have Haley in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, you look very fallish with a trench. I
With
like
the trench.
Yes,
So cold.
It is. Well, we're going to get into our text topic first because we're talking about, something related to this in hour number 2 for Waglwa글. So what is something you'd like to be immune to, immune from?
Not paying the taxes. I will pay my taxes, responsible citizen. Doing my taxes.
Oh, doing your
filing.
taxes.
Going onto the home tax or, why I feel like the site changes every year. Do you? Does it? Are you just messing with me? Is it just me? But I'm like,
It's not just you, I'm sure.
I'm like, where's that tab? Like, because you have to go. I mean,
right.
By the way, I have an accountant, but I still have to give him or her my papers, like
Yes.
the health insurance and all the stuff. I'm like, where? Like, no, it wasn't. It's not. I swear, it's hard.
It is.
Things are so hard. Also, tech issues. Fairly analog. I will, nail whatever things. I'll change the light bulb. I'll get on the table. But just tech issues, I'm like, oof. I can't. I just can't because things you just can't do. Yeah. I mean, can I have more?
Okay, one more.
All right, one more. Oh, one more. Skin issues because I'm like at the ripe old age of 30 whatever.
Yes.
I shouldn't be getting pimples. But I have like a
there
mound
is.
here and here. Let me just point out all the flaws this morning. But yeah, I'm like like teenage Haley would like to know, when do we stop getting pimples?
Maybe like over the weekend, your hormones were flowing for whatever reason.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So yeah,
yes.
thanks for that.
We're going to jump into our first top story. Yesterday, we brought you breaking news about another South Korean man who was found dead in Cambodia. So maybe you can give us further details.
Right. So according to the Foreign Ministry, a man in his late 50s was found dead inside a hotel room in Sihanoukville, Cambodia. So the local police apparently alerted the president of the South Korean Association, who then alerted the embassy.
Right.
The embassy actually asked him, the Korean Association president, to actually check out the scene, which he did. Check the deceased passport, a memo that's speculated to be his will, as well as his cell phone. However, the Korean authorities said that they didn't really find a particular point of criminality.
I see. So that is that story. But what about the investigation and indictments for the dozens of suspects who were extradited to South Korea?
Right, so we're going to take it back to South Korea for this aspect. So 48 out of 58 suspects are already under detention as their respective warrants have been approved. Yesterday, Uijeongbu Regional Court held warrant hearings for the 10 others. We'll get you the updates as they come. But these individuals face allegations of having been a part of this romance scam ring from this March to April, so for about a month-long period.
Okay.
There's actually already another case related involving a 26-year-old defendant in a romance scam case out of Cambodia that's been handled by the Seoul's Dongbu Regional Court. He allegedly made 300 million won from 6 different victims. The prosecution yesterday requested 8 years in prison with a 17 million won penalty against the defendant. He is actually one of the 27 suspects facing similar charges or currently undergoing trial from this operation that came out of Cambodia.
Yes. So it just feels like, every day, because it's such a major story, we'll have further details. All right, another ongoing story in the country has been these hackings against major telecom providers. And now LGUplus is facing allegations of having taken improper action against its hacking report.
Right. So if you're keeping count, we are talking about all 3 telecom companies, SKT, KT, and LGUplus, that have faced various security issues this year, one way or another. Not only hacking or information breaches, but also how they've dealt with them.
Yes.
Another common thread, again, how they've responded or the problem not immediately responded, whether it be investments in their basic securities infrastructure or reporting the hackings to the authorities. So LGUplus right now, they're facing allegations that it attempted to erase traces of a cyber attack. So this is according to lawmaker Choi Min-hee, who heads the Parliamentary Science and Communications Committee. She said that an anonymous white hacker reported these hackings on the LGUplus server and also to KT back in July. So after this report came in, the authorities, the Korea Internet and Security Agency, KISA, notified the 2 corporations of this, asked them to conduct their own inspections.
Yes.
A month passes, so we're now talking August, when the Science Ministry requested reports from this inspection. The day after the request came in, LGUplus did updates on their server's operating system. So the problem is, according to the chairperson Choi, updating the operation systems is basically writing over the system, the previous server, which she said was akin to deleting data, rendering it impossible to go through the digital forensic process. So allegedly erasing evidence. And then 2 days after that, LGUplus reported to the Science Ministry that it saw no signs of an attack. However, the ministry and KISA, they've conducted their own research and reached their own conclusions that the company did experience a cyber attack.
Okay.
So the ministry is now looking into filing a police report against LGUplus for this case.
I see. And this was the point of critique at the Parliamentary Science, ICT, and Communications Committee inspection yesterday.
Right. So all 3 CEOs of the 3 telecom companies were summoned were summoned yesterday. Let's go to Uplus. Yesterday, Uplus CEO Hong Bum-sik for the first time admitted to the hacking and said the company will report this to KISA. Again, this report came out back in July.
Yes.
Going back to the other telecom companies, KT's Kim Young-sup said that the KT is conducting a survey of the damages from its security breaches. They plan on 100 compensations for any financial damages and hinted at his own resignation afterwards. So we're talking about those like microcell towers that were installed and took money or made these micropayments from people's cell phones. SKT's Yu Young-sang, so SKT went through a USIM information leak, a widespread one earlier this year. You apologized for causing confusion with the company's initial figures on how much they're going to compensate. The company was critiqued for giving inflated figures to make it seem like they were doing more than they actually were.
Indeed. So, again, these cases have happened with all 3 major cell phone providers and also a major credit card company. Where is the consumer protection in all of this?
Right. So, we briefly talked about the consumer compensations for losses. However, this is another problematic aspect of this, especially those who might be not so tech savvy, information vulnerable. So the Ministry of Science and ICT report, this is released by Democratic Party Lee Jung-won's office, the ministry actually keeps a record of those who are deemed to be digitally vulnerable. So who are we talking about? We're talking about senior citizens, people who have disabilities, those who live in rural areas, low-income classes, defectors from North Korea, or those who have immigrated to South Korea via marriages. We're not saying all of them will have problems, but they are the more vulnerable subsets of population.
Okay.
And then if we're looking at the sheer figures, there's been a 12% increase between 2020 and last year of this population. So we're looking at 26 million people who may be more vulnerable to tech issues.
Yes.
However, despite this budget for digitalization training, education problems, the budget got slashed. So we're looking at a 69.8 billion won. That was 2023 budget to 27.9 billion won last year. Similar this year as well. So we're talking about classes that give lessons on using kiosks, smartphone classes, and generative AI. So bringing the story back to the hackings, even with what happened with all three major telecom companies, the ministry didn't provide any additional support on its part to these vulnerable groups. So lawmaker Lee, who released this figure, said that any lack of protective measures, it shows a lack of responsibility on the government's part.
Yes. So once again, consumers being disadvantaged. Up next, so let's talk about this. Kakao founder Kim Bum-soo was acquitted of stock manipulation charges.
Right, so this case has been ongoing for a while, but it reached a conclusion yesterday. Kakao's founder and chairman of Kakao Management Innovation Committee, Kim Bum-soo, was found innocent in the stock manipulation case. This case involves the K-pop agency SM Entertainment, ending a long legal and also PR battle for the tech giant.
Yes.
Again, for now. So the prosecution, what they had argued was that Kim Bum-soo violated the Capital Market Act by inflating SM stock prices for his company to buy SM over rival Hybe Entertainment. This goes back to February of 2023 when Kakao was trying to take over SM Entertainment. At this point, another K-pop powerhouse, Hybe, they also made a tender offer to buy SM, but prosecutors accused Kim of fixing SM stock prices at a higher rate than the publicly listed price to manipulate stocks and basically discourage Hybe from making a move. So what the court said, though, was that the prosecution essentially failed to provide ample evidence to prove this, Kakao conspiring to manipulate stocks. Seoul Nambu Court also found former top investment chief Bae Jae-yeon, Kakao Corporation, and Kakao Entertainment all innocent.
Right.
The prosecution, however, said that they find the verdict hard to accept. They said it'll go through the verdict and decide whether to appeal the case.
Yes, and I'm curious as to what Kim Bum-soo and the corporation said about the matter.
Right, so Kim Bum-soo released a statement thanking the court for thoroughly going over the documents and said that he wished this will help Kakao move outside the shadow of the stock and market manipulation allegations. Kakao Corporation also posted an official statement saying that this it was misconstrued as an unethical corporation, and it understands that this acquittal confirms that the perceptions were misguided. Upon the not guilty verdict, Kakao shares increased by nearly 6% at one point yesterday, hitting the 63,000 won per share during market hours.
Yes. So there you have it. That is the story with Kakao and its leader. Now we're going to shift gears and we're going to get to know a little bit more about Japan's first female prime minister, Sanae Takaichi, and we're going to get an expert's take on this in hour number 2 for a special interview, but we want the details. We want to get to know her.
Right, a little bit of background to maybe prep you for the interview.
Yes.
So Sanae Takaichi, as you said, she has self-proclaimed to be Japan's Iron Lady. And this is, of course, in reference to whom she said was her role model, Margaret Thatcher of Great Britain. Takaichi is a former minister, a politician, but also TV host. Interesting career early on as a heavy metal band drummer.
Oh.
Yeah, so things you find out.
Yes.
But her political career inspirations come from 1980s during the height of the U.S.-Japan trade friction. Here, she interestingly worked for a U.S. Congresswoman, Patricia Schroeder, who was known back then for her critical views on Japan. So kind of going into enemy territory, if you will. And then at that point, she said she saw Americans, it's the 80s again, mixing up Japanese, Chinese, and Korean language, cuisine people, probably. So this kind of gave her this urgency for her country to be able to defend itself and gain more power.
Yes.
Her political career, if I can wrap it up in one word, persistence. It took her 2 attempts to win a parliamentary seat, and she's kept that through 10 elections, 1 loss. She also became the Liberal Democratic Party's most outspoken conservative voice.
Yes.
Takaichi is, again, a staunch conservative, especially in the social sector, she's been opposed to legislation that allows married women to keep their maiden name, so mandating a name change, insisting it undermines tradition. Although as her campaign for prime ministership went on, she did become more soft-spoken about these values. She also ran for LDP leadership 2 previous times, proving third time is indeed a charm. She is a protege of Shinzo Abe, and she pledged to revive his Abenomics economic vision of high public spending and cheap borrowing.
I see. Well, thank you for giving us the backdrop. And we'll check in with you in our number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, it's time for our first song break. So let's take a little breather. This is Love by Primary.
Yeah. I can call it love, and you can call it love, my babe. Let's go.
매일 똑같은 지루함 속에 널 만나는 거. Girl, I'm feeling you. I know you feel it too. Cause 너의 눈 속에 언제부턴가 내 모습이 보이고 있어. 어린아이 같은 걸 숨길 수가 없는 걸 두근거림조차 느껴져. I wanna be loved. 내게 다가와 너의 손을 잡을게. 내 눈에 너를 담을래. I can call it love, baby. 나도 몰래 찾아오는 설레임에 You can call it love. 망설이지 마. 도망치지 말을 곁에 있어줘. I can call it love, my baby. 나도 몰래 다가오는 설레임에 You can call it love. You can call it love. Gotta take your love from me. 오늘 하루는 아무런 걱정 마. 너의 날인 걸. Girl, I'll be with you. I know you want me to. Cause 너의 눈빛이 언제부턴가 내게 말하고 있거든. 어린아이 같은 걸 숨길 수가 없는 걸 두근거림조차 느껴져. I wanna be loved. 내게 다가와 너의 손을 잡을게. 내 눈에 너를 담을래. I can call it love, baby. 나도 몰래 찾아오는 설레임에 You can call it love. 망설이지 마. 도망치지 말을 곁에 있어줘. I can call it love, my baby. 나도 몰래 다가오는 설레임에 You can call it love. You can call it love. Gotta take your love from me.
모든 게 편해. 상처받을 바엔 차라리 혼자가 편해. 진심 없는 만남이 별 표정은 태연해. 하며 떼어냈던 내 안의 사랑. 잠들어 있던 내 사랑을 일깨워준 사람. 가벼운 관계 배려 없는 말투에 다운돼 있던 뻔한 일상과 작별할 때 난 새로운 사람 인사에 새로운 나날 반가운 아침을 맞이 오늘은 최고의 날이야. 밝은 미소에 난 일주일을 버텨. 일이 바빠도 해본 적 없는 걱정. 주말에 가고 싶은 곳이 많아졌어. 고마워 나의 진짜 모습 알아줘서. 너무 행복해 네가 내 여자라. 너 역시 나와 같은 맘이라는 걸 알아. 급하게 가지 말자 천천히. 이 느낌 오래 간직하고파니 영원히.
baby. 나도 몰래 찾아오는 설레임에 You can call it love. 망설이지 마. 도망치지 말을 곁에 있어줘. I can call it love,
can buy your love. Money can buy your faith. Prime Murray, Bum Key, and Mr. P. This is another love joint. It's for the ladies. Ha.
It is time for Lian and Now and Next. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. It's so chilly.
I know. And like, I was mentioning this in the opening. It's so chilly, but 아직 단풍도
안 들었어.
네, 안 들었는데 it's happening in Busan like in November, they say.
Oh,
so it's like we're still a couple weeks away. It's very green outside our little window in Centum City.
That is true.
설악산에는 눈이 왔는데 저희 아직
그러니까요.
단풍도 들지 않았어요.
I've been waiting for winter,
but
now it's so cold that I'm like, I don't think I'm ready for winter.
I know, because we were complaining, like generally speaking, just like, summer was so hot, right?
Yeah.
And then
for
now
the
it's just
longest
like,
time. 너무 갑자기
추워.
너무 추운데.
Well, let's get to our text topic.
Yes.
What is something you would like to be immune to or have immunity from for life?
For life. So I'm a dopamine addict. I love the thrill of things. But as I'm getting older and older, I have this growing fear of heights. Being in a very 높은 place.
Me too.
And that plus I love roller coasters, and on my bucket list is things like sky diving, bungee jumping. I want to. I can't because of that feeling where your guts get separated from your stomach.
Yes, I know that feeling.
There's that two things. If I can be like very greedy and be immune from those two things, that feeling and then my fear of heights, then I feel like I could just do anything in the world. That's so fun. Like paragliding, 너무 재밌을 것 같은데 I cannot.
I love that you mentioned that because like I had no fear of anything on roller coasters. I would sit in the back,
me
like
too.
arms up.
Oh, me too.
근데
when I was young.
최근에 I went to this amusement park. And it wasn't even a real ride. It was that monorail bicycle thing, but it was really high up in the air.
Right.
And I started getting like really like heart palpitations. I started getting really nervous for some reason.
I totally understand. And my hands get sweaty and
but
I start imagining.
I was like,
because
it's
going very slow, right?
Very slow. And I was like, 내리고 싶은데 내릴 데가 없는. Like I was just like, okay, don't look down.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't even a roller coaster.
Exactly.
슬프다. Yes.
Oh, why is it like? Why do we keep on getting afraid of the height thing?
I don't know. Well, what are we talking about today?
Yes. So for our now and next, I want to first talk about travel trends. Because there's data that shows that Korean travelers they're not really obsessed about any the skylines, the city life, the hot touristy spot.
Oh no,
I haven't heard of it either. Well, travels to this small city has surged 38 times compared to last year. It is a striking number, especially considering how popular and how familiar Japan is as a travel destination for us Koreans.
Yes.
So instead of Tokyo or Osaka, travelers are heading to places like Shizuoka, which is the first time I've heard. But it's a town that sits on the base of Mount Fuji, where people can enjoy the hot springs, the local cuisine, and the mountain skyline without the hassle of the crowds.
Ooh, I kind of like it. I like the idea of staying away from crowds.
Right.
That is definitely a plus. So it's not just about sightseeing anymore, you're saying, according to all the new surveys and statistics. It's about kind of really experiencing life wherever it is that you're visiting.
That's correct. So industry analysts call it the quote-unquote experience-oriented travel. The travelers want immersion, not just to just see, but to kind of they want to live the local moment.
Yes.
That's why the Fujinomiya's tours include everything from the Mount Fuji walks and also the hot spring. A similar trend is happening over in Vietnam as well. People are going to the northern highlands, the mountain town of Sapa. I actually heard that Sapa is becoming a very popular destination. That area has seen over 60% growth in bookings just this year.
Wow.
A few years ago, though, getting there required an overnight train or very, very bumpy bus ride. But now there's these new highways connecting Hanoi to Sapa. So the once remote area has become what travel experts call an accessible wilderness.
Okay.
So visitors hike through basically rice terraces.
Oh.
They stay in ethnic minority villages and, wake up to these mist-covered peaks.
Oh, it sounds so picturesque.
It sounds so nice, right? So it's a kind of travel that a lot of people are valuing over, the crazy hectic crowds.
Yes.
They're really trying to make their way into these small remote areas of these cities.
So might this be a reaction to over-tourism, just maybe?
Oh, it seems like it.
Okay.
Because a lot of the major cities are reaching their limits, not in terms of just the visitors, but the travelers themselves are also feeling overwhelmed. There's been years of a lot of people, like really concentrated in this urban areas.
Sure.
People now want kind of quiet open spaces and kind of connecting with the locals as well.
Yes.
So in Okinawa, the rental car bookings, it jumped by over 250%. Also, which suggests that travelers, not only do they want some quiet and peace, they kind of want to move on their own independent itineraries.
So not like the group tours as much, right?
They will decide where they go. So they don't want package schedules or group tours. They're kind of designing their own routes at their own pace. And, social media has amplified this trend as well on SNS like TikTok. Hashtags like hidden town or this is my secret spot. These hashtags have taken off among the Gen Z travelers.
I see.
So it's kind of all about creating this personal story of where I'm going. It's not really I'm going where everyone else is going kind of thing.
I like this idea though. It does sound like, people want to know where the locals go instead of just like the touristy spots and like being forced to shop.
I feel like I need to search my secret trip hashtag to see where people are actually going nowadays.
Yes.
So local tourism officials also say that the small town travel boom is helping to kind of balance the overcrowding in big cities and distributing the visitors and money among the regions as well. So this is a plus for the countries as well. And in Japan, local governments are partnering with travel platforms to promote lesser known destinations and make them easier to reach.
Yes.
And also for next year, if we kind of wonder whether these kind of trends will continue.
Taking a peek into next year. Okay.
So there was a travel trend in 2026. This event was held in Seoul. And the platform Skyscanner, the application where we can find cheap tickets, flights, they identified 7 emerging travel patterns for next year. But they kind of summarized the whole patterns into this one big category of personalized travel. That's kind of like the key theme that's running. Do you know what the word 여만추 might mean? 나는 여만추야.
여행.
So we've known 자만추.
Yes. So it's something 여행 추천?
여행 추천?
No. I forgot what
right.
What
So
it was.
여만추 is part one of the 7 categories that this platform has named. It's 여행에서 만남 추구하는 스타일이야. 나는 여만추야라고 할 수 있겠는데. So it stands for basically people meeting people while traveling. That's kind of what a lot of people are wanting these days. Nearly 40% of the respondents said they had traveled or wanted to travel just to make friends, or
I was going to say just friends.
Or even find a romance. So romantic. Just imagining. So it's a softer social form of adventure.
Yes.
It's one that also fits this post-pandemic world where, connection feels like a little bit more meaningful these days, right? So 여만추를 위해서 여행을 떠나는 사람들이 많고. And what about this Mart attack?
Oh.
This is like so me.
Mart attack?
Mart attack. It basically refers to exploring local life through grocery stores instead of restaurants. So 나는 거기 가면 마트 꼭 가야 돼. 이런 사람도 있거든요.
Yes.
So I'm like that. So over half of the Korean travelers said they often visit supermarkets abroad.
Wow.
Not only to save money but because it is one of the best ways to understand the everyday
That's true
level.
though.
So my thing is,
Mart attack.
if I go to the U.S. or if I go to Japan, which the 2 countries that I've been recently, 마트 가야 돼요.
Ah.
Trader 땡 and then the 편의점 convenience stores.
Well, before we do move on to our next topic, Tommy's saying there's a 50-50 chance of getting into a nightmare instead of a romance. He says, coming from a happily married man, I don't know. I don't know if I trust your thoughts. And then we have a photo donated by Haley of Sapa.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yes, so she actually went and she highly recommends.
Oh,
It's really beautiful.
Are these all her photos?
Are those
Wow.
goats?
I don't know what
Is
that
that
is.
Haley?
Is that like a donkey? What is that, Haley?
Or is that a
no,
family
I want-
member? I'm not sure. I can't see.
If I see that hat, I want like Vietnamese food right now. I don't know.
Right.
Oh, wow, that's
I
so.
want some panseo right
Oh,
now.
I know. I'm full. I'm so hungry. 근데 wow, those pictures are good.
She's really good. She's a talented photographer of many of her
Haley, what
talents, yes.
can't you do?
I know. All right.
여러분 사파 가야 될 것 같아요.
네, 로맨스 찾으러요. 네.
여만 출하면 사파에서.
All right, let's go to our next topic.
Yes. So we've talked about travel trends.
Yes.
But let's also talk about hobbies and how they're
Okay.
changing. It's a lot of young people, they're kind of changing how they're spending their evenings and their weekends.
They're like turning it early, I hear. And they're doing
yeah.
other things.
They're
They're not
becoming-
going to like clubs and stuff.
Basically, we can say they're becoming grannies.
Oh, in the best way possible.
Grandpas.
Yes.
So instead of the nightlife, many are turning to what the media is dubbing it, the the slow hobbies. I'm sorry.
Slow hobbies.
The
Like, what
slow
are we talking
hobbies.
about? How slow and what are they?
Things that you have to do slow. So in Korea, knitting
Yes.
cafes are in trend.
Again?
Yes. I've never heard of a knitting cafe though.
Oh, I haven't been to a knitting cafe, but I used to go to a 뜨개방.
Right, where you learn how to
because like
knit.
you know, I was a novice. I was a
Of
beginner.
course.
And then like it just grew from there. I think I spent a good 3 years there.
Oh, I see.
But this was before it got trendy. It was like way
Exactly.
back in the day.
Oh, so you were
Like,
the original.
I was. I
You
wouldn't say
brought in the
original,
trend.
but the precursor to the
Yes.
knitting cafes. Yes.
Oh, I see. I've
Oh.
never been to. I'm so in though. But the knitting cafes are full again. It's coming. But this time the average visitor is no grandmother. It's people in their 20s and 30s.
Yes.
And these stores that sell yarn and crafting tools report that over 60% of their customers are now the young adults. So whereas before it used to the age range would be broader. Now it's more of becoming more focused on the young adults.
Back in the day when I was into knitting, it was definitely an ajumma kind of thing. I mean,
Like the
they
older.
they were much older than I was even.
Oh, I see, I
Right.
see.
Yeah, so
Yes. So even stores are reporting sales that rise by over 50% in a year. And the format has evolved too. So
Okay.
many shops now double as cafes where customers can sip coffee or tea while working on their project.
I love this idea.
Yes, and some even offer small classes on how to knit a pouch or a pair of slippers. The draw, people say, is the satisfaction of finishing something handmade. Slowly, again, at their own pace.
Yes.
Carefully, and making it entirely their own thing. So I feel like there's a commonality here in travel and also hobby. Everything has to become personalized. Like,
And slower.
yeah, and slower.
Right.
And less hectic.
So it's like
Because-
the opposite of like the whole 빨리빨리 culture.
Yeah, I think we are becoming a slower. 야, 요즘은 slow지 이러면서 살짝 그렇게 알고 있을 것 같아요. And psychologists, they say the hobbies act like mindful exercises. These quiet, repetitive motions, it calms the mind and lowers the stress.
Yes.
So the appeal isn't nostalgia; it's kind of the restoring of your mental health.
Oh, I like.
So knitting cafes, they're coming back. And did you know there was a knitting screening earlier this year?
Really?
Yes, at a major theater, movie theater. They
Okay.
basically hosted this event where audience watched a movie together while knitting. And you know what? Every seat basically sold out.
And I was gonna say though, they must have had
Some
lights.
kind of lights on.
Even so,
Right.
because you
It's
can't
kind
knit.
because, you know, the food eating, they have lights on too. So.
Yes. So, one more trend. So, aside from knitting, maybe one more trend that you
One
can
more trend.
squeeze in.
Yes. So in terms of this slow hobby,
Yes.
there's what's called 필사. It's been a trend for a little bit, but this year especially. Do you know what it is?
Talking about like writing or
Yes.
calligraphy or whatever it is.
Right. It's basically Korea's version of journaling, handwriting, and calligraphy.
Yes.
So basically, bookstores call 필사 the art of copying text by hand, and people are taking classes on how to do 필사. They're watching notubu videos, and
There's classes?
there's classes.
on
there's
필사.
books as well on
Wow.
필사. So that's also another slow hobby that a lot of people are catching on to as well.
I like. I might get back into knitting if there's a cafe thing going on. But thank you for sharing these trends with our listeners and viewers, and we'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Lian.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody, this was Now and Next. It's time to wrap up for hour number 1. This is a song request from Benny, Free from K-pop Demon Hunters. Enjoy. I'll be back at 8.
I try to hide, but something broke. I try to sing, couldn't hit the notes. The words kept catching in my throat. I try to smile, I was suffocating though. But here with you, I can finally breathe. You say you're no good, but you're good for me. I've been hoping to change, now I know we can change. But I won't if you're not by my side. Why does it feel right every time I let you in? Why does it feel like I can tell you anything? All the secrets that keep me in chains, and all the damage that might make me dangerous. You got a dark side, guess you're not the only one. What if we both try finding what we're running from? We can't fix it if we never face it. What if we find a way to escape it? We could be let the past be the past till it's weightless.
Oh, time goes by and I lose perspective. Yeah, hope only hurts, so I just forget it. But you're breaking through all the dark in me when I thought that nobody could. And you're waking up all these parts of me that I thought were buried for good. Between imposter and this monster, I've been lost inside my head. Ain't no choice when all these voices keep me pointing towards no end. It's just easy when I'm with you. No one sees me the way you do. I don't trust it, but I want to. I keep coming back to why does it feel right every time I let you in? Why does it feel like I can tell you anything? We can't fix it if we never face it. What if we find a way to escape it? We could be free. We can't fix it if we never face it.
Your bridge to the world. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
랜드로버의 모든 것이 한 곳에 전시장과 서비스 센터가 만나 랜드로버 부산 센텀 컴플렉스 센터로 더 새로워졌습니다. 신차 상담에서 애프터 서비스까지 원스톱 서비스를 만나다. 랜드로버 공식 리테일러 HS 효성 프리미엄.
입니다. 지금 전화해 주세요. 후원 문의 080-982-0119 국제구조위원회.
기업체 사장님들 아직도 직영으로 식당 운영하고 계십니까? 위탁급식과 도시락 전문기업 더 좋은 푸드에 맡겨보십시오. 운영비 절감 효과 확실합니다. 식대는 협의 후 맞춰드립니다. 지역 부산 경남 051-784-0877 051-784-0877.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Welcome to Busan. Let me show you around. Here you can find the world's largest musical in-ground fountain and the world's only UN memorial cemetery. Stroll along the coast and explore the largest mountain fortress in Korea. As well as all this, there are so many tourist attractions, beautiful exhibitions, vibrant culture, convenient facilities, and delicious foods unique to Busan. With all the beauty and charm of the amazing city of Busan, you'll find yourself right at home in this ever-changing tourism paradise. So stay with us a while. Busan, your #1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back. It's now 8 o'clock. This is hour number 2 of Morning Wave in Busan, and we begin with Spotlight News. President urges for stronger response against international scams. President Lee Jae-myung yesterday called on the government to come up with stern and stronger measures against international scams, adding he has made separate directives to the National Intelligence Service, or NIS, to do the same. The Foreign Ministry said that it held a meeting with the South Korean embassy in Cambodia to check over the situation and instructed the embassy to continue working with the local authorities for a joint task force. In the meantime, the remains of the South Korean college student tortured and killed in Cambodia were returned to his family yesterday morning. The official cause of death will be announced at a later date after a joint investigation with Cambodia. He vows to rein in speculative real estate. President Lee Jae-myung yesterday pledged to allocate all available resources to curb speculative real estate demand following the October 15th measures to stabilize home prices. During a cabinet meeting, the president urged government ministries to make all-out efforts to prevent speculative activities, which he called as distorting the country's economy. He also took note of the benchmark Korea Composite Stock Price Index, known as KOSPI, surpassing the 3,800 mark for the first time this week, saying that this should be a shift to a more diversified approach for asset growth over real estate speculation. President congratulates new Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi. President Lee Jae-myung congratulated new Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi on her election win, adding he hopes to meet her at the upcoming Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC Summit in Gyeongju next week. He emphasized the growing importance of Seoul-Tokyo relations amid shifting global dynamics. Takaichi, in her first press conference, said that she wants to develop bilateral relations in a future-oriented and stable manner based on the foundation built by the previous administration. Takaichi also expressed hopes to hold a summit with Yi while emphasizing the importance of trilateral cooperation with the U.S. Special counsel requests arrest warrant for Im Sung-gun. The special counsel investigating the death of Marine Corporal Che requested an arrest warrant against former Marine Division Commander Im Sung-gun, a key figure in the previous administration's alleged interference in the investigation. The Lee Myung-hyun special counsel said that Im Chase faces charges of professional negligence resulting in death and insubordination under military law. Im is accused of having allegedly ordered 4 Marines in July 2023 to go into a search and rescue mission without safety equipment. He was removed from the initial investigation as a suspect after ex-president Yoon Suk-yeol allegedly expressed outrage over his implication. Trump-Putin Budapest talks shelved. A White House official has stated that there are no plans for U.S. President Donald Trump to meet with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in the immediate future, putting the Budapest summit on hold. President Trump last week had said he would meet Putin in the Hungarian capital within 2 weeks to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. But diplomatic talks at the end of last week failed to yield any significant progress. On Monday, local time, Trump embraced a ceasefire proposal backed by Kyiv and European leaders to freeze the war on the current front line, a proposal Russia has repeatedly rejected. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for Waglwagle. Haley's back.
I'm back.
Yes, yes. This first story, though, it's such a tragic story. We're talking about the death of a mother from a fire that was set to kill a cockroach, and she wasn't the one that set the fire.
She was not. So this is a baffling story. So a mother in her 30s, she fell to her death while she was evacuating an apartment from a fire set by her neighbor who was attempting to kill a cockroach. So we're talking about 바퀴벌레. So this case actually happened early Wednesday morning, according to police, at a 5-story commercial/residential building. So stores on the first floor, residences on the second floor and above.
Yes.
So this fire broke out from the second floor. A resident, a woman in her 20s, she apparently saw a cockroach in her unit, tried to kill it with a lighter and a spray-on pain reliever, like spray passive, which was flammable.
Yes.
And the thing is, she fully knew it was flammable because according to what she told the police, she intended to use the flammable material, kind of hoping for a flamethrower effect to kill the cockroach, which, number one, completely unsafe, as you can tell. And apparently it caught on fire onto the trash around her bed and onto her bed.
Okay.
She initially tried to put out the fire by herself. When it didn't work, called 119. The firefighters extinguished the fire within about 40 minutes. However, in this process, the neighbors had to evacuate. A handful of people have been taken to hospital for smoke inhalation, but this included a couple who lived on the 5th floor with their 2-month-old baby. So the victim was a Chinese national in her 30s, and her husband were trying to evacuate to the next building over. So why they couldn't take the stairs, was there smoke in the stairs? We do not know yet, but the next building over was only apparently 1 meter apart from this particular residential building. So they first passed off their baby to their neighbor in the next building.
Yes.
The husband made it okay. However, when the woman, we do have to remember, she had just given birth 2 months ago. When she attempted to make it over, she fell and died.
Oh my gosh.
So as for the woman who set the fire, the police have booked her for negligence resulting in death. Suwon Regional Court just approved her arrest warrant, citing her as a flight risk.
I see. Well, thanks for reporting on this terrible, terrible tragedy. We're going to move on for now. The Lee Jae-myung administration has introduced a sweeping set of loan regulations to curb this very hot housing market. And this has been met with mixed reactions. And now a top official's comments have fueled the fire even further.
Right. So we're going going to go back to the October 15th real estate loan regulations. The government vastly cut down on the maximum loan caps for housing. Claire did a great job of explaining this thoroughly on Monday's show. I'm going to throw it out to her if you need a reminder. But we're going to talk about the woggly aspect of it, the controversial aspects, not policy, but what the policymakers have said about this. So this is the first Vice Minister of Land, Infrastructure and Transport, Lee Sang-kyung, the Land Ministry being the primary ministry in charge of real estate.
Yes.
He went on a real estate channel on YouTube. And here, Lee said that he understands that the situation could be tough for people who are looking to buy homes to live in, not for real estate investment or speculation, in lower priced areas in Seoul or Gyeonggi via their savings plus loans. And he asked them to hang in there, adding that people might be stressed out right now because they want to buy now. So he was talking about the timing. And Lee said that once the government policy helps to stabilize housing prices or even lowers them, then these people can get in. And this was the point of controversy. If home prices do stay at the same level as they do now, then he was like, don't worry, because your income, your wages will go up and you can save money via your wages and buy a home. Which statistically, in order for an average wage earner to buy a home in Seoul, you need to not have spent a single penny and work for, I'm talking decades. Decades.
And this is not like, oh, you're paying for the basics and then saving. It's like your
entire wages.
Right.
I'll get you the numbers if needed. And so the first vice minister said that opportunity will eventually come around. There's no reason for people to be so sensitive about regulations.
This did not go over very well,
Now,
did it?
can you imagine?
No.
Real estate community's comments are just piling up because, realistically, the speed at which home prices are going up, that speed is far, far faster than any wage increases. Even inflation is going up higher than wage increases. And also everyone, and we're talking in any other country, everyone takes out loans to buy homes unless you have probably generational wealth.
Yes.
Which, those are usually the people going in for the speculations and investments and who buys their home entirely in cash. Others also pointed out maybe perhaps a little bit of hypocrisy because he himself, pointing out, lives in a home that's worth 3 billion won in Pangyo, which is a popular real estate investment area, with a 1.4 billion won in loans. So a little bit under half of his home is in loans. By the way, this is fully disclosed via the government's disclosure of assets for high-ranking officials.
Yes.
To be fair, the home that's under his name that he owns, he recently sold at 739 million won in Seongnam. Not as much, but this particular apartment is owned by his wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a touchy issue.
It is a very touchy issue.
And we're going to move on to another sensitive matter. Weight and body image.
So your weight, 몸무게, right? It's a physical. It's a health issue. But then it's also an emotional and very much social, even gendered one based on medical records.
Yes.
So I'm citing records from the Food and Drug Safety Ministry data by Rebuilding Korea Kim Sun-min's office on prescription of these appetite suppressants. So we're talking about 마약류 식욕 억제제. In the past years, we're not talking subscriptions, but the number of pills that were actually prescribed. Over 1 billion pills were prescribed between 2021 and first half of this year. So we're talking at over 200 million pills, appetite suppressants per year. This is, by the way, separate from the GLP-1 weight loss drugs like Wegovy, at which, and we're going to get into the gendered aspect now. For Wegovy and other GLP-1s, clinical trials show that female subjects accounted for 73% of the total. So gendered aspect being a lot more women are trying to lose weight through these drugs.
Right.
Again, going back to the appetite suppressant drugs, of the over 1 million people who have been prescribed these medications, almost 90%, 89.7% to be precise, were women.
Okay.
And also we're, by the way, counting 5,900 teens with these subscriptions who are in their growing phases. And according to figures from the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, the KDCA, 48.8% of men in South Korea were obese compared to 26.2% women. So obesity rate versus perceived obesity, body image, those who are trying to lose weight via medication, it is distorted. let's just say.
Yes.
So experts have pointed out the lax guidelines that might be there for regulations of these appetite suppressants. So how does one get these medications prescribed?
Yes.
It's based on your BMI, body mass index, which is a calculation of your weight and height. Here's the thing. In other countries, we're citing the US, UK, France, and Japan. Prescriptions for appetite suppressants are allowed for those with a BMI of 27 to 35. In South Korea, the medical threshold for pre-obesity is 23.
Oh.
Which is a healthy body weight.
Right.
Nothing's normal, but that was...
I laugh because...
It's just 23 and pre-obesity is interesting. So that allows for a widespread range of weight range for prescriptions. Of course, any medication comes with side effects. For this particular case, some nausea, anxiety, dizziness, and whatnot. Again, regulations are fairly lax, so lawmaker Kim called for improvements in regulating these prescription standards and criteria.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, for a final story. It is about immunity or exemption because it goes hand in hand once again with our text topic today. And this time it's from the military.
Right, and that is one of the touchiest subjects in the country. So fairness about getting one's military exemption. This was a top issue at the Military Manpower Administration, the MMA parliamentary inspection from this week.
Sure.
So People Power Party lawmakers Hong Il-jong pointed out, he pointed to BTS, which is, by the way, they've all served and they have no qualms about serving. So it's more about kind of what they symbolize. BTS, one of, if not the most famous K-pop group, all members served either active duty or alternative service. Some might say at the peak of their popularity.
Right.
Because under the military service law, those who have contributed significantly to the national image in the arts or sports, who have medaled bronze to gold at the Olympics or gold medal at the Asian Games, or have received awards from recognized international competitions are exempt from military service. So sports, there's a very clear criteria. We're going to remove that. However, lawmakers Hung's argument is that under this law, BTS members, at which point they had won the American Music Awards, topped the Billboard charts, they couldn't be recognized, at least legally, as having had enough of global excellence proved to qualify for exemption.
Sure.
And the point was that BTS went to the military, but the criteria, the regulations were not up to par, perhaps.
Yes. So what kind of competitions qualify for this, military exemption?
Right. So here, that was the bigger story. So there are 35 artistic competitions. 11 of them, and these are supposed to be international, 11 of them take place in South Korea. South Korean competitions can be international. However, in 5, all competitors are Korean nationals.
Oh.
So how international is this?
Right.
So Sung said 91% of those who had their service exemptions came from these so-called international competitions that were kind of fully domestic.
Okay.
Or 210 people to be precise in the last 10 years. So again, in the larger scope of things, 210 in the last 10 years, so 21 people per year may not be a huge amount, but fairness being key. So the head of the MMA said that the group will discuss this issue with the Culture Ministry and seek to reform the system.
Yes, because I don't know, maybe the rules are outdated. They might take a look to see if they are, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, thank you for going over all the woggly issues. And of course, we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
And it is now time for your updated traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic update. It is now 8:17 on this Wednesday morning. The Mandak-daero is congested from Mandak Tunnel number 2 to Mandak Cathedral. Also backed up on Nakdong-Namno from Gangso Police Station from the Seongsan three-way intersection. There is traffic on Jungwang-daero from City Hall to Yangjong intersection. Let's talk about some road closures due to the 10-kilo road race for the National Sports Festival from 9:50 a.m. to 11 a.m. from the Asiad Main Stadium to Kodae Station, Yeonsan Rotary, City Hall, Cheongsanghyeon Square and back to the stadium once again. It's going to be closed because of the road race, so take detours. As for the weather, it is currently 16 degrees Celsius under cloudy skies. It's going to go up to 20. There's rain in the forecast for this afternoon. Across the nation, another chilly one with morning lows in the single digits. So there is a wide gap between the lows and the highs depending on where you are, and especially in the western region. So wherever you are, please take care of your health. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for your special interview. Yesterday marked a historic moment in Japan's political history. Sanae Takaichi became the nation's first female prime minister. And so she has been dubbed Japan's Iron Lady, and she's known to be an admirer of former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. She now faces a new series, or a series of formidable challenges. All eyes are on her right now and her leadership. So today we're going to speak with an expert to explore what this historic milestone may mean for Japan's political landscape and, of course, its relationship with neighboring countries, including South Korea. Let's invite back to the airwaves Professor Sean O'Malley, tenured professor of international studies at Dongsu University. Hi, how are you?
Good morning, Catherine. I'm fine, thank you.
Yes. So for those who may not know who she is, if you could briefly introduce who Sanae Takaichi is, because from what I understand, she's been dubbed, I guess, Japan's Iron Lady.
Yeah, I think the moniker is somewhat fitting. She has said that sort of her role model in politics was Margaret Thatcher. Miss Takaichi, when she was younger, went to the United States and actually interned at the House of Representatives under at that time, fairly powerful female politician named Pat Schroeder in the United States. And that was during Margaret Thatcher's premiership in the UK. And so in her younger years, she grew up sort of watching this conservative politician in Britain, and she took after her in a lot of ways. She is conservative. Sounds like she comes from a fairly conservative family. Her mother was a police officer. Father worked for an auto company that was linked to Toyota. So her background in the countryside is somewhat conservative. And she has been labeled, if you read the papers these days, she's been labeled an ultra-conservative, a hardline conservative, a staunch conservative. A lot of those, I think, may be somewhat loaded. She said during her election she wants to be presented more as a moderate conservative. And this was sort of to, I think, quell discomfort among many voters that she would be sort of too right-wing for the premiership in Japan. But we'll have to wait and see sort of how this Iron Lady herself deals with leadership.
Yes, because as you pointed out, Professor, I mean, the media has been kind of angling her as someone who is a hardline conservative. So we'll see, as you say. In terms of the leadership style that we might kind of take a stab at, what do you think she's going to bring to the table?
Well, I think there's a couple of things we need to keep in mind with her premiership.
Okay.
The first is that domestically, she is not overly popular. In fact, where Western media is really talking about the breaking of the glass ceiling in Japan, it's been reported in Japan that a lot of women really aren't happy with her election to the position because they feel she's not been favorable towards women's rights in the country.
Yes.
And when she was made the leader of her party, which is the Liberal Democratic Party, their longtime partner, Komeito, which is a Buddhist-backed political party, they left the coalition with the LDP, which made her have to go find a new coalition partner if she wanted to form a government.
Right.
And she was able to do that with sort of what has been dubbed a libertarian or perhaps even more right-wing party, the Japan Innovation Party. And they're a rather populist party. So between her domestic popularity concerns and her new coalition partner that may be more conservative than the mainstream liberal Democrats that she is supposed to represent, this may be difficult for her to get policies passed through the legislature. On top of that, she has the same structural constraints that President Lee Jae-myung is dealing with right now. The international system is different than what it was 5 years ago. The trade war between China and the U.S. has really put pressure on Japan and South Korea to move closer to the United States. And this is going to constrain some of her foreign policy choices moving forward. So we'll have to see how she tries to balance, in some sense, the relationship with Japan, the relationship with China, and where South Korea falls within this new structural paradigm that is currently being developed in the international system.
Right. And I'm also curious as to what the pundits are saying about Takaichi, the pundits here in South Korea. So if you have your feelers out, can you tell us what's been said so far, how people are viewing, I guess, her political stance? What might be most concerning?
Well, I think most concerning is her links to former Prime Minister Abe Shinzo. And he was obviously a very conservative prime minister. He belonged to what is called the Nippon Kaigi, which is this ultra-conservative right-wing group in Japan that has about 38 to 40,000 members.
Yes.
And they believe that Japan has been misrepresented in history and have a number of very questionable views when it comes to the historical record of Japan's imperial past.
Yes.
And Ms. Takaichi is also a member of that group. And so there is caution here in South Korea that we may be moving back sort of towards a conservative approach that Shinzo Abe brought, or I should say Abe Shinzo brought to office. But I would like to mention, which is often left out, that the past two prime ministers were also members of that same group. And these are the prime ministers that President Yoon Suk-yeol and current President Lee Jae-myung worked with on rapprochement with Japan.
Yes.
So there's caution, I think, is somewhat warranted, but I don't want it to get overblown because she may be somebody that the South Korean government can work with amicably to try and move forward relations.
And of course, that's going to be really important because there are a number of ongoing economic, historical, and security issues between South Korea and Japan, correct?
Yeah. Yes. As always, there are a number of these issues. I think that Lee Jae-myung has currently approached it leaving the historical grievances aside. And that has helped with this rapprochement that he has had with Japan.
Yes.
I think if he continues that, there's no reason to think that rapprochement won't move further forward.
Yes.
One of the sticking points really between the former Moon administration and the former Abe administration in Japan was that the Moon administration seemed to have a two-pillared foreign policy. One was sort of complain about historical grievances and also try and have economic relations. And they often butted heads. And so with the Lee Jae-myung approach, the current approach of focus on cooperation, focus on economics, leave historical grievances aside and sort of deal with those where we can in the future, I think bodes well for building trust, building greater cooperation, and not making Takaichi feel that she has to placate her conservative base by playing the tough guy to President Lee Jae-myung.
I see. I fully understand now. In terms of this, going back to what you spoke about a little while ago, this trilateral alliance, South Korea, U.S., Japan, that becoming even more important as, these trade wars continue around the world. What kind of impact might her premiership have even on that relationship where we're looking at the trifecta, South Korea, the U.S., and Japan?
Yeah, I think it's just going to move Japan even closer to the United States. This is her stance. This was the stance of former Prime Minister Abe, who is said to be her mentor.
Yes.
This idea that a close alliance with the United States is good for Japan, while also protecting Japanese sovereignty with changes to Article 9 of their constitution. Those two things sort of go hand in hand to make Japan a stronger nation. Now, if you remember the last time we spoke, we talked about Lee Jae-myung and his presentation in Washington, where he said that South Korea cannot move forward with the United States, which at this time I said was rather shocking to say out loud for a liberal politician. But what it did is it really does signify these structural changes that are taking place in the international system, where South Korea and Japan feel they need to get closer to a larger democratic alliance partner, the United States, in order really to offset this burgeoning close relationship between China, North Korea, and Russia, which they see as a problem arising in the international system. So I see that this is an area where the Lee Jae-myung administration and the new Takaichi government can work together in cooperation in trilateral relations and try and build more trust in that area.
Yes. And as we wrap up our discussion for today, Professor, looking ahead, what, in your opinion, are going to be the opportunities or challenges in this Korean-Japan, this relationship under her premiership?
I think the challenges are going to be what they've been really for the last couple of decades. What you have here is now a liberal president who's had some very strong opinions about the relationship with Japan in the past. You have a conservative Japanese politician with very strong opinions about Japan's past and how they can reconcile the ideologies that they've both used to play to their own political bases as they now have to govern states and work together. That's going to be really interesting. And I think that's going to be ultimately the challenge. I think President Lee Jae-myung has done a fairly admirable job of signaling to his base here in Korea that better relations with Japan and sort of pushing historical grievances aside when necessary is good for South Korea's national strengthening.
I see.
And if he continues with that, and Ms. Takaichi recognizes that this is somebody she can work with in South Korea, I think we may have a strengthening in that relationship in the future.
Yes, well, of course, all eyes will be on this relationship as she has stepped up to the plate as Prime Minister of Japan. But thank you so much for your expertise and opinions on this very hot issue. Thanks, Professor.
All right. Thanks for having me.
This is Professor Sean O'Malley, and we talked about Sanae Takaichi becoming Japan's first female prime minister. So we'll see if all the reporting where they're calling her very hawkish, very much like Shinzo Abe, whether she will stick to what some might say are hardline policies, or if she will soften things up. We'll see in the near future. We're going to take a song break. This is 처음엔 사랑이란 게 by Busker Busker.
거리에 오겹쳐진 그녀 모습 속에는 온한 그 어떤 그리움도 찾아볼 순 없군요. 거리에 일렁이는 그녀 모습 속에는 온한 그 어떤 외로움도 찾아볼 순 없군요. 처음엔 사랑이란 게 참 쉽게 영원할 거라 그렇게 믿었었는데 그렇게 믿었었는데 나에게 사랑이란 게 또다시 올 수 있다면 그때는 가깝진 않게 그다지 멀지도 않게 벤치에 앉아있는 그녀 모습 속에는 난 그 어떤 그리움도 찾아볼 순 없군요 벤치에 들려오는 그녀 웃음 속에는 난 그 어떤 외로움도 찾아볼 순 없군요 처음엔 사랑이란 게 참 쉽게 영원할 거라 그렇게 믿었었는데 그렇게 믿었었는데 나에게 사랑이란 게 또다시 올 수 있다면 그때는 가깝진 않게 그다지 멀지도 않게 머린 아픈데 너는 없고 그때 또 차오르는 네 생각에 어쩔 수 없는 나의 맘 그때의 밤 나에겐 사랑이란 게 사랑이란 처음엔 사랑이란 게 참 쉽게 영원할 거라 그렇게 믿었었는데 그렇게 믿었었는데 나에게 사랑이란 게 라라라라
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for your responses to the text topic. What would you like to be immune to or immune from for like the rest of your life? If you could get a free pass on anything, what would it be? So your answers, they run the gambit. Let's look at some of your responses. Umberto says, immunity to my roommate's anger at me. Just saying is his response. What did you do, Umberto? She can't be angry at you for no reason. Or is it just like you breathing? Or 숨만 쉬어도 싫다는. There are, couples that jokingly say that. I'm sure it's a joke. But if you did something wrong, just apologize. Get it over with. And we have another message from Blancanim who says, I'd like to be immune to any word or behavior from someone that makes me unhappy and sad. But if I could choose another, I want to be immune to sleepiness. 오, 우리 블랑크님은 좀 많이 잠이 많으신가 봐요. 잘 졸리시나 봐요. So they want to be immune to sleepiness. Let's see. This one. 태진, 살면서 모든 질병에 면죄되게 해주세요. So 태진 wants to be immune from all illnesses. That's a good one. Carl Love. By the way, I love your name, Carl Love. I don't know if that's like a username or a real name, but Carl Love says, immunity from cancer. Oh, so you guys are coming up with some really good responses. Let's see. 고수님 says, 제가 면제 받고 싶은 거는 여러 나라를 비자 필요 없이 갈 수 있었으면 좋겠어요. And he wants to be able to travel around the world visa-free because the reason is this. 코로나로 인해 신혼여행을 못 간 관계로 해외를 나가본 적이 없거든요. 지금은 아기가 있으니 아기와 같이 가보고 싶어요. Oh, that's like sweet and kind of bittersweet. He got married during COVID. So hence they couldn't go on a real honeymoon and he hasn't been abroad. But now they have a baby and he would love to travel with his daughter. And I'm assuming the wife is invited as well. So they can travel as a family together. So that's really cute. All right, we're going to get to our next segment. I'll be back with Jennifer. It's time for Work in Progress. We have Jennifer in the studio. Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. It's a hump day.
I know. Did you hear our text topic? Did you hear our responses? I forgot to read. Before I ask you.
Okay.
This one more message because it's such a funny one.
Sure.
Tommy said he wants freedom.
Freedom from what?
And that's what I texted him. I said, freedom from what? And he's like, freedom from his room control. AKA his wife. Yeah. He always says this and then he's like the sweetest to his wife and his 3 kids. But anyhow,
I'm sure he
freedom is what he says. All right. What would you like to be immune to or have immunity from?
I know exactly what I want to be immune from. All kinds of pain. Physical, emotional pain.
Because you mentioned you have back pain.
Yeah.
Back pain is a tough one.
So that is my wish.
Oh, okay.
If I had a magic lamp, I would wish for that.
Like from your genie?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what are we talking about for Work in Progress today?
Today we are looking at a big shift in how companies find and evaluate new talent. The rise of AI-powered hiring.
Oh.
Yeah. So from resume screening to interview chatbots, artificial intelligence is now shaping who gets a job interview and who doesn't. And sometimes it makes a decision who gets a job.
Wow. So even for that, they're just like pushing us out of all jobs now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Well, yes, I've seen stories about this that, we have AI analyzing like voice tone and even reading facial expressions during interviews. I have to say, it does sound pretty efficient, but a little unsettling. And I'm wondering also, might the AI be wrong? Let's say I'm a little nervous versus am I lying?
Could it can change your voice tone
or misreading the cues that I'm giving off? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a transforming recruitment for sure, and not always in ways people expect and people like. On one hand, it can speed up processes and reduce bias. On the other, it raises big questions about fairness, privacy, and what it means to be qualified.
Yes. So let's start with the efficiency side. Why are companies so eager to adopt AI into everything, but also into hiring?
Yeah, well, we know the answer. Time and cost mostly.
Yes.
Yeah, large firms get thousands of applicants every year per role. And AI can quickly scan resumes, highlight the relevant experiences, and even rank candidates in seconds. Yeah.
Ranking.
Yeah, ranking. Yeah. Since the pandemic, when remote hiring became the new norm, this kind of automation has exploded globally, not just in Korea.
Right. So, as I said earlier, aren't there risks of these algorithms not always understanding context or kind of reading the room, even, let's say, on paper?
Exactly. If the system was trained on biased data, like past hiring patterns favoring certain genders, ages, or schools, those biases get baked in. And often, applicants never know why they were screened out, why they didn't get the chance.
And these days, I think that's so scary because I remember reading somewhere that there was a case where somebody was rejected because their video background lighting was too dim?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. The AI wasn't measuring skill, it was measuring pixels.
It was too slightly dim.
Yeah, that's why transparency is crucial. Applicants should know when AI is used and what it's evaluating.
Yes, yes. So I think that also brings up something interesting because there's this new idea. I think it's called like Neo-ER.
Yeah, Neo-ER.
Yes. So can you explain what this is to our listeners?
Yes, Neo-ER stands for New Employment Relationship. It's a term that's getting more attention as AI begins to take on more human-like work. Basically, it raises new questions about what we call labor and compensation. If AI adds value to business, who should actually benefit from that?
Okay.
Yeah, the company, the developer, or even the user who should be compensated and get benefit. Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So it's not just about using AI in hiring, but redefining what is work, like defining what
is work. Yeah, the deep question, right?
Okay. So tell us more.
And in Korea, discussions are starting about whether AI-assisted labor should still result in compensation being paid directly to the human workers. Following the long-standing principle that labor rewards belong to people. Not systems.
Yes. So even our whole concept of employee rights may evolve, may change with AI.
So even if you are most people believe that even if you are using AI, you should still be compensated for your work because you are using the system. Yeah.
You control the AI program to come up with these good answers.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's interesting. It's a little confusing and maybe a little even mind-bending.
Yeah. AI might become both a tool and a co-worker eventually. Which means the line between creator and assistant is getting blurry.
Well, my next question is this then. So we have all these issues. How are countries dealing with these issues?
The EU AI Act is a great example.
Okay.
It classifies hiring as a high-risk use of AI. That means companies must disclose when algorithms are involved and keep people in the final decision loop.
Okay.
Not everything is done by AI.
So maybe just like round one, screening through all the paper, so-called, like what's on paper, not the actual interview maybe, or just
but
certain
not to
processes.
rely on AI for the final decision.
Yes.
And in the U.S., some states like New York now require employers to notify candidates if automated screening tools are used, which is fair enough.
Okay.
Korea is also moving in this direction, emphasizing that fairness testing and transparency standards.
Okay, so it's not as scary as maybe we first thought, but many job seekers might not even realize that they're being judged by AI.
Yeah, sometimes it's written in small letters.
Fine print.
Yeah, exactly. That's why AI literacy is becoming essential.
Okay.
Both companies and candidates need to understand these systems, not just to use them. Awareness builds trust and accountability for sure.
Yes. But I'm thinking though, if you are an applicant, if you're a job seeker, it's already stressful, right?
Yeah,
it's so stressful. And then add to that you might be rejected before a person even sees my resume. Because they went through the first screening process of the first rounds, and for whatever reason, they didn't like what was on there. Right.
That's a bit depressing, right? Yes. Many workers report anxiety about being replaced or misjudged by machines. But it's not all negative when you look at it. AI can also help candidates by analyzing job descriptions, improving resumes, and offering personalized feedback.
Okay.
It's about turning AI from a threat into a tool. So if you use it well, you can benefit from it.
Yes, and I like that idea. Always think of it as a tool. It shouldn't replace human beings if and when possible.
Yeah.
But if human beings are able to know about it and use it as a tool, why not, right?
Yeah, we talked about this before, so we should be able to use it. The mindset shift is key. Instead of thinking AI is taking my job, think AI is changing how my job is done. So those who adapt to this idea tend to benefit.
Okay, so let's be practical. I'm listening to this and I'm feeling nervous. I'm talking on behalf of many people out there. Like, what should I be doing?
Oh, here are a few things worth trying. First, learn the basics. We are not talking about coding, but to understand how AI works in your field.
Yes.
Yeah. Knowing how it's used makes it less intimidating. Second, strengthen your human skills, communication, creativity, ethics, and emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Those can't be automated.
Right.
And third, stay flexible. Careers today are no longer linear.
Yes.
Constant learning is your best job security.
Right, right. And so I agree with what you're saying, but especially the third about staying flexible and to be on top of things. Like, especially if AI is being heavily used in your industry, resisting it is futile. It's futile these days because they're not going to get rid of AI. You're going to have to you have to roll with the punches and go with the flow, as they say.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to learn those skills, right?
Sure. And for companies, this means more than just buying software. They need to train people, communicate openly about AI adoption, and maintain trust. Without trust, even the best tools fail.
That's right. So it sounds like the real challenge, it's not just about the technology, but it's also like the values and understanding it. And as Umberto says, to use it and to maximize the potential. I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Right.
agree. We can't outsource ethics to algorithms. AI can process data,
Yes.
but it can't understand fairness, empathy, or accountability. That's still our role as humans. So I think when you write your resume, you can stress these things.
Yes, indeed. So, big question. Can we make AI work for people? Not like over us. We don't want to be controlled by AI. We don't want AI as colleagues, but really maximizing the potential as a tool.
Yeah, I don't want AI to be my colleague.
No.
Oh, Mr. AI. AI 부장님, 네, 과장님. No. AI should amplify human potential, not replace it. Yeah, I fully agree. But that takes careful design, regulation, and leadership. Yeah.
So what is the one big takeaway from today's discussion?
Now, well, AI is reshaping work for sure, and hiring is just the beginning. It's just a small part. Yeah. Efficiency matters, but ethics and transparency matter more.
Okay.
And as AI becomes more capable, we need to stay human, thoughtful, fair, and stay curious.
I like that last part, staying curious.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for bringing this very now topic to our listeners. And of course, we'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Jennifer.
Will do. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody, it's time to wrap up our segment. Actually, the entire day or morning at least. We have a full day ahead of us, especially if you're in Korea. We're going to end it with this one, I'm Not the Only One by Sam Smith. So have a good one. Bye, everybody.
A vow for better or for worse. I can't believe you let me down, but the proof's in the way it hurts. For months on end I've had my doubts, denying every tear. I wish this would be over now, but I know that I still need you here. You say I'm crazy, 'cause you don't think I know what you've done. But when you call me baby, I know I'm not the only one. only I know why. Your heart is unobtainable, even though God knows you kept mine.